And we're live.
All right, come on, blow us away here.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
No
so
pressure.
I'm going to go through these cards like this. Can you see them when I go through like that?
Very well.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to try and look away so I'm not looking at the screen. And I want you to just tell me when to stop anytime while I'm going through.
Stop.
Right there?
Yep.
Are you happy with that one, or you want to change
Oh, yeah,
it?
I like that one.
Okay, so I want you to think of that card over and over and over in your head, right? You got it over
That's
and
all
over
I
and over
ever
in your
do.
head? Remember it?
Yes.
Okay, now I'll try and figure out information about the card. Now, normally I would try and guess the card, but since we're through the screen, I'll have to actually find the card. So I can actually check inside my pocket. One card in my pocket. I actually had one. Was yours the Ace of Spades? No?
No.
Good.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Let me... Yeah. King of Diamonds?
I know how you did it. He cheated.
Yes. There's a lot of cheating going on. Let me make sure that you can see my hands. All right. How about this? Can you just tell me when to stop?
Quickly before you do the trick, what he just did there, he flipped his finger through the cards so that we could rapidly see them changing. I said stop, and he stopped on the King of Diamonds. Then he continued to shuffle the cards, and then told me to think about my card, and then he reached into his pocket and pulled out the King of Diamonds somehow. It was in his fucking shirt. It was in his coat pocket.
I didn't
yes.
see him mess with his shirt.
Giving them a good shuffle, fanning them out for us, letting us know that they're mostly
I
there.
just want to make sure that you can see the fronts and the backs.
Yeah, they're
So
real
that
cards.
not-
They're shuffles.
So there's not like 52 King of Diamonds, you know? That would be not good. Okay, so how about this? Could you just tell me when to stop while I'm going through these cards?
Stop.
Okay, do you want the King, the Jack, or the 4? Because there's a delay. So
The Jack.
The Jack. Okay, the Jack of Spades. See it?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. Now, what we'll do, we'll take the Jack of Spades and I'll trap it into the deck. And you know what's kind of interesting is that you did pick a spade. And the box the cards come in is red, but the one thing that's blue on this is the spade.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want the spade in the deck to match this spade, it just looks like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And now all the cards should now be blue. So now every card in the deck should be blue.
Well,
But where
Well,
did the
except
red
for
ones go?
one. Well, except for one, right?
Oh.
And you remember yours, correct?
I do.
Yes.
The Jack of Spades,
Uh-huh.
right? And then the rest are
He
all...
just
blue.
literally he showed us the cards. Like he shuffled the deck. He selected a card in the middle, and then he showed us the deck front to back. And I didn't pay too much attention to it, but it was a red deck of cards, as we all know. They're either red or blue if they're bicycle cards. Then he turned the deck back around and shuffled a bit more, and then quickly, with no deception that I noticed, turned them all to blue instead.
And you cannot have one red card in a deck of blue. So if I go through the hand once and through the hand twice, then we should have another blue card, and now all of the cards would be.
He took a single card and rotating it in his hands. I never lost sight of at least one part of the card. He changed the color of the card, and I don't mean the suit. I mean he changed it from a red card to a blue card.
I like this
Absolutely.
trick because, like, it's one thing to palm a single card. Like, I've tried to do it. I suck at it. I can't fool anybody. But, you know, I know the idea is a whole deck. Like, I don't know where that went. Like,
Yeah, and in case anybody's wondering about the faces, yes, they are all different faces. They're not like red on one side and blue on the other. Or whatever.
Yeah. This isn't this, that, and the other. Are you familiar with that trick?
Yes, I am familiar. That was the first trick I ever learned.
That's the first trick I ever learned. And it's the only trick I ever learned. And I got so goddamn slick with it that I did it at a poker game, and they wouldn't let me deal afterwards. And there's not a whole lot of like trickery in that. I couldn't really utilize this, that, and the other trick to like cheat, and I certainly never would because you'd get your ass kicked. But like they saw me do this, that, and the other, and they wouldn't let me deal.
I still have it in my wallet.
Look at
from way
that!
back
You're the
then.
man. I made my own too. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was
Would
the
you
first
do
trick I
that
learned.
for us?
And well, now that you know that there's another card, it kind of ruins the ending, doesn't it?
None of these guys, but I'm the only one who knows.
I've only
I
learned like
just
one
showed you.
magic trick ever that was
Oh,
BS. And even then,
You know
when
what
I
I'm saying?
learned it, I couldn't get it right most of the time. And so usually it was like half of the trick was me being like, can I actually do magic? Like, can I will this to work right now? No, fuck. Damn it. Like, no, it's not your card. Not even close.
It's such a good finisher, though. It's just like, you learn in life that sometimes you get a little bit of this, get a little bit of that, but not much of the other. And it's like, holy shit, this guy has been going through 3 cards in his hand for like 45 seconds at least if you're doing the trick fast. And he hid a card from me the whole time. And the whole time you're just showing them the 3 cards. You're turning them over and flipping them up, and you're just it's a cool trick, and it's an easier trick to learn, I think, with practice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually when I was in 4th or 5th grade, I think it was the summer before 5th grade, that was when I started getting interested in it. And the way that I started wasn't with the magic kits or wasn't with the books. It was really just in front of a mirror practicing magic, trying to make it happen. And it's actually kind of interesting because now I still do a lot of that kind of practicing. I've got like a 3-way mirror, and so I'll practice in front of that and just keep trying to come up with things. And that was how I started. So it gave me a very unique style that I've kind of run with ever since. But that trick was one of the first ones that I ever saw. Like it popped up on the homepage online. I think it was like on the front page of this video. And then I actually saw it, and then I figured it out when I saw it in like 4th grade. And then I actually uploaded a video, one of my first videos on YouTube in like 4th grade, with me teaching how to do it a different way, because I thought that I had come up with a better way of
I might have seen that. I might have seen that because I was obsessed with that trick. I definitely watched more than one video on that trick.
Yeah, I deleted the video a long time ago, but yeah, it was me showing like you could do it this totally different method instead, because then you can make it happen in the other person's hands. Because that's my whole style. The reason that I love close-up magic. I mean, I have a stage show, which is very different, but the reason I love close-up is because you can make it happen in someone else's hands. And pretty much all of my tricks I've made to work in someone else's hands, and that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see some more stuff. You showed us one the other day where, I don't want to give anything away, but you moved a card right before our eyes. There was a card in one hand, and quickly it was over here. It's more of a little flicky
like a sleight of hand thing.
It's more of the finisher of a trick than a trick in its own right.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, so this one, I mean, isn't really. This one's basically like just a sleight of hand kind of demonstration.
Yeah.
When I'm doing this and someone asks me, is everything you do sleight of hand? And this is kind of how I'll answer that question, where I'll say that there are parts of magic. There are parts of magic that are sleight of hand. There are parts of magic that are a lot based on just presentation. Like, for example, if you tell me when to stop while I'm going through.
Stop.
Got it?
Yep.
Do you want to change it, or are you happy with that one?
I'm happy with that one.
Okay. So if I want to find the selected card, I have to guess about where it might be, somewhere in the middle. So name a number around 26, because that's halfway. So it could be like 25, 24, or something a little higher, whatever. Name a number around 26. 27, so that would be a little bit more than halfway. So that would be like this one.
There you go.
So that would be just a pure sleight of hand. But then I'll do it.
Let me tell the audience what you just did.
But it's just a bunch of tens.
No, it's not. He ruffled through the deck. He stopped on. He ruffled through the deck. He stopped on the card that we selected. It was the 10 of diamonds, and then he began to shuffle the deck in a couple of different ways. And then he cut the deck with one hand. I'm sure most people are probably familiar with that. And cutting the deck mid hand, with one or two fingers, he threw the card across the table from one hand to the other, caught it face down, and then revealed that it was our 10 of diamonds. Very slick. Like I feel like that finisher. I feel like the trick itself is, no offense, but I feel like it's probably simple what you're doing to move the 10 of diamonds to where you want. But your sleight of hand flick thing there, that takes practice, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, this is the difference between sleight of hand and what a magician does. Okay, I mean, so like for example, tell me when to stop anytime.
Stop.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to change that one? Are you happy with that one?
That's good.
Okay, so for example, if I wanted to do the same trick and make the card appear, you can actually do it invisibly instead.
Yeah, I caught that one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're excellent, though. I really enjoy watching it. What a great party trick. How much? You're 17, aren't you?
Well, it's my job. It's not necessarily a party trick, but yeah.
I think everybody else knew. Does this work with girls? I'll phrase it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yeah. Do you find that this is like
Yeah, then compared to the
Is
other
this an
17-year-olds,
icebreaker that
he could do the bra like a master, right?
like you see a good looking girl that you want to approach. You don't have anything. Do you ever break out the magic as an icebreaker? Just hey, you want to see a trick?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you say that has a high success rate
with like meeting people and everything like that? Yeah, I when it comes to
you know what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think that it's an amazing icebreaker. You know, it definitely sets you apart. It makes you different. And
Do you ever
but
have them, like,
it's
watch you and be like, "Watch, I'm putting the condom on. You can trust me." And then they start talking, and then they realize this guy's not wearing a condom. And you're like, "I didn't wear one the whole time. If you'll look here, it's still in the package, idiot."
She's
No,
like,
that
"You
baby
wear
is
a
not going to be
condom
magic up.
He's
You're
like,
going
I
the cough and it, yeah.
that was Steve.
Yeah.
You were telling us that
strange dick unwrapped.
You know, it's interesting because there's two sides to that. Because magic, I think Teller from Penn and Teller, he said something that magic is just spending way more time on something than anyone would ever expect. And it's really especially because a lot of the stuff that I just showed you is not my own, because the things that I create, I gear towards putting in someone else's hands, you know, and it's less magical when it's like over a screen, you know.
Can you say what that means? Putting it in someone else's hands?
So, like, for example, if I gave you a deck of cards and then it disappeared inside your hands, you know, and I walked away,
and I would put it here.
or if so, like, for example, a trick that I do that some other magicians do, but I have my own version of it, and it makes it more interactive with the audience member, is any card at any number. If I have someone name a card, name a number, and then the card that they named is at that number, like if they deal down to that number. And a lot of magicians will do that where they deal the cards. And then there's a method that's been created more recently where it's inside the spectator's hands, the audience member's hands. And then my goal is always to take whatever I can think of and try and make it crazier. It's so that it would fool me if I saw it, and then just work hard on it to make that happen. And so the way that I took that trick was, instead of having it just be in their hands, what if they were able to shuffle the cards right before, and then the cards have never left their hands, and I tell them to name the card, name the number, they deal down to that number, and the card's there. Yeah. That would fool me. That seems impossible in my head. And that's why I worked on it for months and months and months and made it happen. And that's one of the tricks that I'm working on, you know, trying to market and sell. And I'm going to film and have that.
Yeah, I like that
sell
trick.
Tricks.
Yeah. There's a big market for.
So a while back, Taylor, do you remember we watched David Blaine on the Jimmy Fallon show? The finale.
He drank the fish.
Well, before he drank the fish, he did 3, maybe 4 card tricks. That one of those card tricks was yours. Is that correct?
So that was actually, I think that was 2 stories that kind of got fused into one that I was talking about. One of the tricks that he did was any card at any number, and he did his own version of it. But what I was trying to explain is that I have created my version of any card at any number, which has the added aspect of them shuffling the cards. And so if I were to do that performance, I would have been able to hand the cards over to Jimmy, have him shuffle the cards, and then name a card, name a number, and then him be able to deal down. And the version that David performed was different. He didn't shuffle the cards and things. I'm not saying that his version was bad. I'm just saying that, you know, the one that I'm looking to sell is the same style of trick, like the same ending, just, you know, different.
Just a whole nother level up.
Do you have any?
For?
What did you say?
How much does a trick sell for? Like, I have no concept of what it could be worth.
So it totally depends. I mean, what I've been thinking about is some magicians will just publish what their thoughts are in like a magazine, like in a magic magazine, and just write up what their idea was. That way they can say it was their idea without really making a profit off of it and not really like selling it. But what I've also thought about is there are some websites where you can film it and then have it be an instant download, or people can buy DVDs online of it. So I prefer the instant download. I'd like for the stuff that I've created. I've also created different sleight of hand moves where basically with one hand I would be able to do what a lot of people would consider just a two-handed move, which is, I mean, I don't really want to name stuff because it would probably give things away. But just the idea of any card that someone names, I would be able to, with one hand, steal out of the deck in less than a second and make it appear anywhere. And that's something that no one's really ever done with one hand. And so that kind of stuff I'm looking to sell. And they have certain websites where you can do online downloads, like instant download, where you just pay like $7.99 or $8.99 for the video, or maybe $15 for the video, depending on what it is. If it's a really long one, then it would be more.
Well, so David, when you sell a trick, is it like, I feel like you could sell it to someone. Like if I bought one of your tricks, I feel like I just wouldn't be good enough at sleight of hand. Like maybe if I practice as much as I can, I'm just not good enough at that. Like it seems like even if you buy the trick, you still have to be really competent in order to pull it off for a difficult one, you know?
Yeah, the stuff that I would be selling would be very, very hard.
Taylor,
and there's some tricks that are very beginner tricks.
If you wanted to learn this, that, and the other, you can learn that well enough to like get laid in 5 hours of practice.
Well, no, I want to sell this. Where I pull my finger off, you see?
I've seen that one before, I'm afraid.